Stanley, Tracie, and Chris, investigators of the Gray District Agency. They're tasked with capturing a sinister animatronic known as Freddy Bear, lurking within the abandoned Freddy Bear's Pizzeria. Reports showed that an animatronic caused the demise of people wandering into the abandoned pizzeria. At the GDA's office, Tracie couldn't help but research the history of Freddy Bear's Pizzeria, hoping to uncover the secrets that bounds him to the place. She asked Claire, the GDA's AI.
Claire, what is the backstory of Freddy Bear at the Freddy Bear's Pizzeria?
Freddy, an animatronic bear and beloved children's entertainer, resides at Freddy Bear's Pizzeria. He proudly serves as the cherished mascot of the original Freddy Bear's Pizza franchise, captivating audiences with his singing talent as he commands the center stage. However, unbeknownst to most, Freddy's existence is marred by a haunting past. He is tormented by the vengeful spirits of children who met a tragic end at the hands of a man named William Afton within the pizzeria. These innocent souls now linger within Freddy, compelling him to seek retribution against their assailant by unleashing his blind rage upon any adults who dare enter the pizzeria after closing hours.
They arrived at the decrepit Freddy Bear's Pizzeria, shrouded in darkness and decay. They cautiously entered the abandoned restaurant. Tracie whispered.
This place feels cursed.
Chris replied.
Everything about this place is creepy.
Oh no!
The team hears a distant scream for help. Stanley said.
Sounds like that scream came from just ahead of us.
Tracie asked.
Hello? We're here to help. Where are you?
They discover a gruesome scene on the floor. Chris said.
Look, tomato sauce is on the floor.
Tracie sighed.
I don't think that's tomato sauce.
Stanley, Tracie, and Chris' mouth hung open in horror, staring at the red substance on the floor. Stanley implied.
Maybe the red body fluids came from the voice we heard screaming. Come on, let's keep looking.
They ventured deeper into the haunted pizzeria, encountering eerie sounds. They cautiously scanned their surroundings, never knowing what might try to get them. Tracie asked.
Chris, do you see anything?
Chris is frozen in fear. He didn't say anything. Tracie and Stanley turned around and saw Chris just standing there, his eyes filled with horror. Stanley asked Chris.
What are you doing, Chris?
Chris whispered.
Look over there.
They spotted a shadowy figure. Stanley whispered.
What is that?
Tracie answered.
I see something, but I'm not sure what I see.
Stanley said.
Let's get a little closer.
They proceeded to walk closer. Stanley said.
It's Freddy!
Fear grips them as they screamed and turned and ran. Freddy in hot pursuit, his malevolent, distorted laughter echoing through the pizzeria. Chris shouted.
We can't let it catch us!
Stanley and Tracie ran by Chris. Chris yelled.
Stanley, Tracie, wait for me!
They raced through the darkened pizzeria until they stumbled upon a small security control room with CCTV monitors showing rooms and hallways in the pizzeria. The room has 2 doors, one on one side and one on the other. Stanley said,
We need to find a way to capture him before someone else get hurt.
The team started thinking of ideas to capture Freddy. Suddenly they'd seen Freddy on one of the monitors. Freddy is staring right into the camera. Freddy uttered,
I've been waiting for you.
Freddy Bear's deep, menacing growl caused fear in their hearts. Freddy yelled,
You can't escape me!
Freddy moved away from the camera. Chris said,
I can't think of anything on how to catch him.
Freddy is standing in the doorway, and Stanley quickly pressed the red button that said close.
No.
The door closed. In desperation, Stanley spotted a series of rusted chains hanging from the ceiling. Stanley said,
I can use the chains to tie up Freddy. Tracie, do you think you could cast a spell to hold him long enough for me to put the chains on him?
Tracie said.
Yes, I could do it.
She performed the spell.
Petromortem evixis.
Tracie has Freddy contained. Chris opened the door. Stanley struggles to put the chains on Freddy as he tries to break free. With his adrenaline pumping, he managed to wrap the chains around the mechanical monster, restricting his movements. Freddy shouted,
You cannot contain me forever!
Chris is scared and shaking. Chris cried out.
Now what?
Tracie knew they only had moments before the animatronic broke free. Tracie shouted,
I'm going to send him straight to the GDA's containment unit, where he can't harm anyone.
She concentrated on her magic, conjuring a mystical portal right beneath his feet.
Backdoor dispersion.
And the room fell silent. Stanley said,
We did it. We caught Freddy.
Freddy managed to break out of the chains and escape the portal. He ran off deep into the pizzeria with the ominous laughter echoing through the pizzeria as he disappeared into the shadows, shouting,
I will return.
Stanley yelled.
And we will catch you.
The agents were shocked that Freddy was able to escape. They decided to head back to the office until they figured out a way to capture him. 2 weeks later at the GDA's office, they found out that a demolition crew was attacked at the pizzeria and ended up in body bags. Tracie asked Claire, the GDA's AI,
Claire, what can we possibly do to catch Freddy?
It is said that there is a book of spells in the pizzeria that can control Freddy and remove him from the pizzeria. But the spell must be performed by a witch and a non-witch.
Stanley said,
We need to go back so we can find that book. I will perform the spell with you, Tracie.
Chris said,
Man, do we have to go back?
The team returned to the pizzeria on a stormy night. As they ventured deeper, the pizzeria seemed different, as if it had come more alive. Stanley led the way, guided by Tracie's magical senses, and Chris followed closely behind. They reached the control room where they had previously encountered Freddy. Freddy's voice echoed from the shadows. Freddy said,
I've been waiting for you. You shouldn't have returned.
Chris said,
I knew this was a bad idea to come back to this place.
Freddy is standing in the doorway. Freddy shouted.
You can't escape your fate.
Stanley spotted the spell book just in the nick of time. Stanley whispered.
This is the book.
As Freddy pressed closer, Tracie and Stanley frantically recited the incantations from the book.
Itioko Karadium. Itioko Karadium. Itioko Karadium. Itioko Karadium.
The room shook. Then Freddy convulsed, his voice distorted in agony. Chris ran off screaming. Stanley shouted,
It's working! Keep going!
Tracie has control of Freddy's spirit. Tracie said,
Mirificus negotium.
Tracie sent his spirit to the GDA's containment unit. And Chris came back. Chris stuttered.
Did we catch him?
Tracie sucked her teeth, and she said,
We didn't catch anything. Stanley and I caught him.
As they leave the cursed place behind, they couldn't help but wonder what other horrors lay in wait, ready to be uncovered in the shadows of Freddy Bear's Pizzeria.